Greetings and good evening, my dear ladies and gentlemen. As always, my name is Sugi Shogun, and today, once again, I'm gonna be reviewing another anime original series by Netflix called Super Crooks, which is part of the same universe as the other Netflix show Jupiter's Legacy, which was cancelled after the first season. And you don't need to watch that show in order to watch Super Crooks. Yes, they take place in the same universe, and there will be a couple of cameos of the heroes that are in Jupiter's Legacy. However, this is kind of its own standalone story, and no prior knowledge is basically needed. Now, this is a 13 episode anime series adapting the comic books by Mark Millar, the Super Crooks short series or mini series. And it has actually some extra stuff into it, so even if you have gone through the comics, there is a bit more added stuff here, like a bit of flashbacks, a bit of origin story for our, main character known as Johnny Bolt. And so there was a bit of added content here, which was pretty good. You kind of got a bit of a fleshed out story, how Johnny came to be, and etc. And what is the premise of this story? So it's Johnny Bolt basically recruits or gets recruited into this team of 8 supervillains to perform this very big heist in Japan. And this is obviously a world where there's superheroes and there's supervillains, basically, which have all types of different abilities. And, everybody has their own ones. Some people can fly, some people can change the weather. Johnny's power is basically to manipulate electricity and electrical devices, like he can hack an ATM and other things in the world. And basically that's kind of the gist of it. I think I have to applaud a bit that there is, a fair share amount of unique superpowers. A lot of the times when we have, hero type shows, it's very generic stuff like breathing fire or flying or super strength. I mean, you have those here in too, but there are a couple of interesting abilities here as well, some kind of bit more broken than others. I don't like that overpowered stuff in general, but I think it kind of worked out pretty well in this show. Now, this has been animated by Bones, which did a pretty great job. There was in the beginning a couple of these chase out episodes, which were absolutely fantastic in my opinion. I think those were done really, really well. And the amount of detail in the background and all the action and the animation, it was just really, really nice to look at. The character models seem to be, for the most part, kind of obviously this anime style here. It's not trying to reproduce the style from the comic books, but I think that most of the characters seem to be very similar to the original, and I don't think it was fundamentally trying to do anything different here. And in terms of the kind of I already explained the premise, but I have to say that I kind of enjoyed the story. It's kind of like a heist type of anime with some mixed, things there and there. However, it's not like a perfect 10 out of 10 show. I mean, the action was good, the story was decent, the characters, I think they were kind of good too. And obviously, I watched the Japanese dub, which is the original dub of this anime. I didn't try the English one. Maybe it could work out. Obviously, this is a source material, which is technically American, I guess. I mean, Mark Millar is from UK, but it's a story that takes place in America, so you don't have your normal anime quirks. This is done in mind for the Western audience, definitely American audience. So it doesn't have anime cliches or anything like that. I mean, the anime obviously is stylistically a bit more anime looking. It looks like kind of more like one of those South Korean developments where they do all those Marvel and DC shows. But in terms of what are the things I didn't like, the opening song was absolutely dreadful. It was mild, it's sometimes opening songs are kind of meh, but this was annoying. So I had to skip it immediately on my Netflix. The ending song wasn't really good either. OST totally forgettable. So the music side of things, I think, in my opinion, was probably the weakest point of Super Crooks. But I kind of appreciate it still because it did feel something more fundamentally different from your generic anime. Sometimes it's just nice to go into flow, watching something that is just fundamentally different. And back in the 80s and the 90s, we had all of these collaborations with European studios and anime in Japan, and you had the Moomins, you had the Nils Volgersons, and etc. And those were very interesting, in my opinion, in a retrospective, because you were kind of bridging two types of worlds, two types of cultures, the Japanese style with the storytelling from Europe and etc. And this kind of reminds me of that, in the sense that there is this sort of a in-between collaboration. Like when we had that, Star Wars thing, Visions, which I will review at some point, guys, on the channel, but like that one was too Japanese in a lot of ways, but we talk about that in there. So kind of like TLDR, Super Crooks is actually pretty decent, doesn't require you to watch Jupiter's Legacy. There's not going to be a season 2 because all the comic was adapted. That's what I read. And it didn't leave any cliffhangers there and there to allow you to add more types of stories there and there. So this is kind of like finished piece here, what we're talking about in terms of a story. But I don't really have anything else to add here in terms of Super Crooks. Go watch it. I think it was an enjoyable experience. The background story, the pilot episode is kind of weird because it gives us the background story, but technically it's not really playing that much into the whole thing, outside from this childhood friend. Another childhood friend which was introduced was not appearing at all in the series again, which was kind of weird to me because it felt like that was kind of important character, but whatever. But hey, thanks for watching. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more awesome reviews. Thanks for watching.